to see, I have light perception, which means that I can see light in the room. For instance, I know that this room is semi-lighted. The lights are on, but it is dark in here. I can also see bright colors. However, the colors have to be usually in the sunlight. It was a good experience for me because it really got me on the road of, these are the standards that you're going to have to live up to if you want to get anywhere. You have to work for it. I use a screen reader called JAWS for Windows. Basically, it reads everything that's on the screen. It is not built into a computer like most people think. Some people think my laptop is specially designed. No, it's not specially designed. It just has a program on it that can read text. So my cell phone talks. I can actually text on my cell phone, which I really wanted to do throughout high school and didn't get that phone until actually my senior year. So that was really a big step for me in the fact that, I could text people now.
And at what age did you start using all of this assistive technology?
It's kind of a hard question because you learn it. It's not like you just start using it. You have to learn it. It takes time to learn. I was exposed to assistive technology in 3rd grade. I actually found Stetson through the college fair that my high school hosted during senior year, and I knew I wanted to go to a music school. I stopped by and took a tour of it, and the campus was small, and we really liked it. Basically, it was just a matter of just going to places, like going to the Commons, going to Presser, and I'm very, very good with directions. Yes, I did get lost those first couple of days, but I could just use my sense of direction and say, okay, I know I have to head west, so I'll just go here, and then I can just turn and figure out exactly where I'm supposed to go. If I can walk to somewhere, I usually do it. If I have to, I take the bus, but I try not to take the bus just because they have their own schedule. I have my own schedule. I don't usually like to go on someone else's schedule, but if I music was more like a science to me. It was more like I want to figure this out. Of course, I had perfect pitch. Well, I still have perfect pitch. And I would hear songs. I would hear them, and I would hear that certain ones were similar. And of course, I didn't know it was the key. But what I was actually hearing was they were in the same key. I didn't realize that. I didn't know what it was. And I always wanted to find out how that worked.
And at what age did you start playing the piano?
Age 6. What I really want to do is make an impression on other students. So often, we find in schools that the teachers don't care about the subject they teach. But my goal is to really, really try and make a difference in the lives of high school students. High school is a rough time. And a lot of times, high school students go through insecurities, and they're trying to find themselves. Perhaps they're bullied, or maybe they're just going through a hard time family-wise. And my goal is to not only be there for them, to guide them in music as a musician, but to also guide them through that standpoint of their life also. And I know that unfortunately schools are really becoming strict on outside guidance outside your field, but if it's done properly, I think you can really make a difference in students' lives. The biggest misconception that people have about visually impaired people would be the fact that they are not regular people, quote unquote. I don't like that word regular, but that's the best way to describe it. A lot of times when either talking to someone visually impaired or working with someone visually impaired, people think that they don't learn as quickly. Some cases that is true. Depending on the type of condition, it might also affect learning and, as well as the eyes. And I want to put it even into a different perspective. Just hanging out with someone who's visually impaired. People a lot of times are very hesitant to hang out with someone who is blind. The thing is, we interact just like other students. We just can't see. That is really our only difference. A lot of times people will say, oh, well, we can't talk about seeing, or, we can't talk about, like, watching a movie. You have to say, did you hear this movie? And to be honest, if other blind people have a problem with it, then they really need to think about what their goals in life are, because that means they haven't gotten over their disability, and therefore they really need to reassess themselves. My advice would be, don't be afraid to step up to challenges and do what you want. If you have a dream, then pursue it. And don't feel that that you can't do anything, because it is possible to do almost everything except driving. I will have to say driving is unsafe, although it can be done if there are no cars. So don't be afraid to be mainstreamed with other students. In fact, I would suggest getting to know other students that are sighted who don't have a visual impairment, because those are the students that you're really going to make friends with and that are going to be your lifelong friends. You're going to get a lot more out of life if you don't stick to your own disability and look at other people, because other people have disabilities also. Maybe it's not as obvious. They may not use a cane. I'd say never be afraid to just get to know other people. Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten of a tree, and I feel like I'm clean.